La 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 Kannare na.
Good morning, my dear students. Welcome for to the online class. Today I am going to explain in the second lesson of the history. The name of the lesson is Medieval India and the Political Transition. So in this chapter we are going to learn the Rajput dynasty, how they ruled North India under their control, and what were their contribution to the literature, art and the architecture. And also we are going to discuss how the Turks arrived to the India and what were the impact of their inventions on India, and how the Delhi Sultans got opportunity to take under the control of India during the time of medieval age, and how many dynasties of Delhi Sultans ruled India. That the details information in this lesson we are going to discuss. My dear students, medieval India means it is the period between the second half of the 12th century and the first half of the 13th century. Means in between 12th century and the 13th century, the medieval India period begins, and it is also known as a transitional period. What is a transitional period? Means the society entirely took change hereafter from 12th century of the second half to until the new era of the Indian history. So that's why it is called as a transitional period. So what changes were brought during this time in the medieval period? Means before to the second half of the 12th century, the whole India were broke into a small multi-state political system. But the arrival of the Turks, what happened? The political system started to change because they brought centralized power of administration. So, and instead of 12th century before, the people believed polytheism in their lifestyle, but influence of Turks and the Islam, monotheism was started to expanded. Due to that, what happened? The lifestyle of the people and the political system of the people, administrative system of the people, and the food habits and the lifestyle of the people started to change because of arrival of Turks to India. People started to copy day by day their habitation. So before studying these, so we should understand how the India was under the multi-state political system during the time of a Rajput dynasties. Means so the northern and the western India from 9 to 13th century, how the Rajputs ruled under their control, that we have to study. My dear students, so the Rajputs were the northern Indian rulers. After the rule of the Vardhanas in Taneshwar, most of the western and the northern India came under the control of the Rajputs. There were many Rajput small kingdoms who ruled the northern and western India. They are called as Gurjara, Pratiharas, Chandelas of Bundelkhand, Garhwalas, Solankis, Paramaras, and many other Rajput dynasty. By the end of the 12th century, the Rajput kings like Prithviraj Chauhan, Jayachandra Garhwal, Paramadeva, Chandela were the powerful kings of the North India. Now, so we are going to study about these all Rajput dynasties, how one after one they ruled the northern western part of India. The first dynasty which came into a power in the North India, they are the Gurjara and Partiharas. The Partiharas have claimed in many of their inscription that the Lakshmana of Ramayana period, a Kshatriya of Surya Vamsha, were the founder of the Rajput dynasty. But as per the available evidence, the Nagabhatta is the founder of this dynasty. Who was the founder of the Gurjaras and Parthiyaras? Nagabhatta. The Parthiyaras ruled Sindh region by keeping Kannauj as their capital. Which is the capital of the Gurjaras and Parthiyaras? Kannauj. They fought between a frequent attack by the Arabs. Mihir Bhoja and Mahendra Pala were the two powerful rulers who ruled among the Gurjara and Pratiharas. The Pala of Bengal had extended their Pratihara kingdom till Bengal. An Arab traveler who visited Fortuane court of Mihir Bhoja, his name known as Sulaiman, he appreciated the kingdom, how they maintained the administration very peace of manner. Pratihara's rule declined after the death of Mahipala and succeeded over the Mahendrapala. And later, one more dynasty which controlled the North India after the Pratiharas, they are called as Garhwalas. Chandradeva was the founder of this dynasty. He made Varanasi as his capital. Govinda Chandra is among the famous ruler of the Garhwalas. He extended the rule till Malwa and Magad by defeating Palas. He also got a fought against with the Kalinga and Odisha, and he conquered Kashmir, Gujarat from the Chola. He had cordial relation with the Govinda Chandra of Chola. Like this, so the Garhwalas also maintained their administration sometime under their control. After the fall of Garhwalas, another one kingdom who came into a power, they are called as Paramaras. Paramaras came into a prominency after the decline of the Pratiharas. The founder of this Paramaras, his name known as Upendra Krishna Raja. He is a feudatory ruler under the Rashtrakutas, and Dharanagar was his capital. Among the Paramaras, Bhoja is the very popular king, and he extended Paramara state by defeating the South Indian rulers like Kalyani Chalukyas, Gangas of Kalinga, and the northern Konkans. So through the Bhoja experienced up and downs in political sphere, but he remained undefeated in a literature. Means he was a very good scholar and also a good king. So after the death of the Bhoja, what happened? The kingdom lost and declined, and one more kingdom came into a prominency, that they are called as a Solankis. Solankis, among the founder of the Solankis known as a Mulraj first. After him, the Bhima first become very dominant among the Solankis, but he could not protect the Somanatha temple attack of Muhammad Ghazni invention. But later, Mulraj II and Veeradavala were the capable kings who came into a dominancy among the Solankis. Mulraj II defeated the Muhammad Ghazni near Mount Abu. During his rule, the famous Jaina scholar who compiled the book in a Sanskrit, his name known as, in a Prakrit, that book name known as a Deshi Mala. Ulaf Khan and Nusrat Khan were the military general who supported for to the Alauddin Khilji, and so Ulaf Khan and the Nusrat Khan, the military generals of Alauddin Khilji, they attacked on the Solankis while Karnadeva was ruling, and due to that Karnadeva was defeated apart. So the Solankis, some part of the kingdom conquered by the Delhi Sultans. And one more kingdom which ruled the Rajputs, small multi-state, they are known as a Chandelas. Danga is the famous among the Chandelas. He proposed in Bundelkhand. In the beginning, Chandelas were the feudatory rulers of Pratiharas, but after the decline of Paramaras, Danga declared himself as a independent ruler. He took hold the eastern part of Paramara's kingdom and extended his kingdom by defeating Pala and Adras. Danga, who had got the title Maharajadiraja, means King of Kings, and he extended his dynasty up to an Hindu Shahi king Jaipala took fight back attacking the Turks. Finally, they too also defeated by the Khilji Sultans, and the Khilji Sultan Alauddin Khilji conquered the Chandela's some property and merged into his kingdom. The lost king dynasty among the Rajputs, they were known as a Chauhans. The Chauhans dynasty is the most prominent among the Rajputs. Why? Because they controlled the Delhi Sultan's attack continuously on their kingdom. Among the famous king Chauhans, his name known as a Prithviraj Chauhan. The dynasty started its rule from 7th century from the place of Ajmer in Rajasthan. The rulers of this dynasty were Ajaya Raja and Vigraraja IV and Prithviraja III made Chauhans the prominent rulers of the Western India till 12th century. Prithviraj Chauhan was known for his famous archery, and he was very brave person. Chandelas of Bundelkhand gaining Maheb and the Kalinjar. Prithviraj Chauhan defeated the Muhammad Ghori in Tarain of the first, but later in the second Tarain war, the Muhammad Ghori killed the Prithviraj Chauhan, and this led to the fall of Chauhan dynasty to the Muhammad Ghori and lost their power. Like this, the Prithviraj Chauhan, who was a very famous king among the Chauhans, was very frequently battle warrior among the Chauhan dynasty. So his bravery, many kind of folk songs were composed by the many local people, and he is become a legendary among the Chauhans. So Prithviraj Rosso, which was written by Chand Bardai, is going to tell the details about the Prithviraj Chauhan, how during his regime he controlled the Delhi Sultan's attack, and how he was a very famous among the small multi-states of Rajput dynasty. That all information we are going to collect from the Prithviraj Rosso. My dear students, now we come to know very clearly among the small multi-states which ruled the northern and the western India during the time of 9th century to 12th century. So like this, the ruling period of an Turks attack, how the political system was under the control of the multi-state system of the Rajputs, we come to know. In the next class, we are going to discuss about the contribution of the Rajputs, what contribution they have given for art, architecture, and whatever all the literature took place during the time in the time of Rajputs. That all details we are going to discuss. Until so, keep watching the videos and prepare the notes what I have explained today. Further, if you have a doubts, you can question me in your own WhatsApp group to me. I will answer it. So keep watching. So thank you listening.